Good morning, folks. Lots of stuff to talk about. So, I think I'm going to start with Ozzy. Why not? Because everybody else is talking about Ozzy. And why not join in on the bandwagon, right? But I got a different take on this than what other people may have heard or believe, or articles they've read, or videos they've watched, or whatever. And this is what intrigues me about Ozzy and his death, which I guess took a lot of people off guard. I mean, I guess people don't think people die anymore or whatever, but yeah, I know the people have talked about the date and what the date means and this and that, and they can look all that up and research it themselves if they want to, but outside of that, I mean, I have a lot of things to talk about, but I'm going to start with that because this is what intrigues me about that is the whole liquid death thing. I just find it really, really interesting how dumbed down people are that they would literally drink something called liquid death. Okay, first of all, I remember a while back I was in a store. I don't remember what store it was, and I actually saw this stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me? I guess it's water. I think, I think it's water, canned water or whatever, some kind of flavored water. I don't know, but it's literally called liquid death, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta have that. Give me some liquid death to drink. But again, we're in an idiocracy, right? So people are gonna drink liquid death, right? So, but here's the thing that intrigues me about that. Um, Found an article. I post a lot of stuff to the post this morning, just tons of stuff, because I kept finding article after article after article, all the way dating back to like 2023 on a particular subject I'll get into in a minute. But one of the things I found was a Billboard magazine article or whatever, and I just took a screenshot of it that Ozzy Osbourne literally, sold his DNA, his Vaxxed DNA, I should say, okay, for $450 a can of liquid death, and I guess it was marketed for like 10 cans where, and Ozzy gave his endorsement to this. So basically, he wanted to be immortal in this way, I guess. And if you read more into the article, it says something like, clone me, you bastards, kind of thing, as a joke. Of course, ha ha, tongue in cheek, right? You know, because people want to live forever. They want to be immortalized, or whatever, especially if they think they're that great, godlike, or whatever. So he sells his DNA. He endorses his DNA to be put into liquid death. And, of course, fools buy this and they drink it or whatever. And I guess the can sold out really quick. Kind of like those Nike shoes from years ago, if you remember, that little Nas promoted, with the blood. Remember all that garbage? I don't know how many years ago it was, with the Bible verse on it. Was it Luke 10:18? I think. I saw lightning falling from heaven. Remember all that garbage, and they put blood in the sole of the shoe? Yeah. There's so much that's been out over I don't know how many years of satanic garbage that they've shoved down our throat, and just this insanity, But the whole liquid death DNA thing, I'm thinking to myself, okay, whatever people think, whatever they think, everybody has their opinion, their beliefs, and everything else. That's fine, okay? Everybody's got a brain. They can use their brain, and they can research, and they can investigate. They can be as informed as they want to be, or as ignorant as they want to be on subjects. I mean, it's both a choice. Being informed is a choice. Being ignorant is a choice. But I felt led to put ignorance as a choice because it appears most people choose to be ignorant over a lot of things. I mean, tons of things. Because if it doesn't fit their narrative, or it doesn't fit the way they believe, or if it doesn't fit into what they want to do or how they want to live their life, then they'll probably remain ignorant because they just don't want to know. It's too disturbing. It's too disgusting. It's too uncomfortable. So they'll just remain ignorant on that, and that's a choice. I'm not judging anybody. If you want to be ignorant, be ignorant. On certain subjects. I mean, there's certain things that I really don't care to know about or want to know about, but very, very, very few nowadays, because you can't really afford to be too ignorant on a lot of things. You just can't, in my opinion, anyway. Other people agree, disagree, whatever. It's your choice. So, but this whole thing with the DNA, and the liquid death, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, okay. So he sells his Vaxxed DNA, okay, and people can read the article. I shared like 9 or 10 articles on a lot of different celebrities and people that have died suddenly, have gotten sick, had to cancel their concerts, brain tumors or brain uh, issues. I don't want to say tumors necessarily, but issues with their brain, whether it's like a hemorrhage or some type of diagnosis or whatever. The one thing they all have in common is they're all vaxxed. They're all vaxxed. Double vaxxed, triple vaxxed, quadruple vaxxed, whatever vaxxed. Totally, completely vaxxed. That's the one thing they all had in common, and they promote it and endorse it and so forth, okay? So, people can read those articles if they want. I posted all of it, okay, from Lioness of Judah. Excellent, excellent Substack. I mean, superb Substack. That person, woman, whatever, puts out great, great information on a lot of different topics and subjects. But anyway, the whole DNA thing and the liquid death, I'm thinking to myself, so you sell your vaxxed DNA to people, and then they drink your DNA, whether they're vaxxed or not or whatever. Now, personally, I believe, this is my personal belief, I believe that the vax alters the DNA. This might give me a strike, as a matter of fact. I might even get my channel taken down, but whatever. I've been there, done that. So, but anyway, I personally believe that, okay? Whatever anybody else believes, I believe it alters it. I believe it removes the God gene, for lack of a better term. I believe it does all of that, okay? Now, beyond that, whatever. People think whatever they want to think. They can believe whatever they want to believe about it, okay? But I have a couple of revelations that I'm not going to say they came from God. So let me rephrase. Not revelations, just some thoughts. I'll just put it like that. I don't want to say the revelations. It's just some thoughts, okay, about it. But the whole thing with the DNA, people drinking other people's DNA, isn't that kind of like drinking blood? Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, and then because they want to be immortalized, and maybe the people that do this, they want to have the person's DNA inside of them, and maybe there's some type of ritual here that I don't understand, or maybe they're just so dumb that they think that they can drink other people's DNA and become that person, or they just want that person inside of them. I don't know, man. People are crazy now. it's just crazy, you know. But he puts this thing out. Then he goes on tour with Metallica and Guns N' Roses or whatever, right? And he gets that one final tour in, okay? And I saw clips of this tour. Somebody posted a YouTube clip of it. And it was interesting to me because apparently the guy was so weak with Parkinson's and, and probably being double vaxxed, and where he's been made him more sick than he realized or what have you. And he's actually singing in his, I don't know what you want to call it, completely black throne with a bat with wings spread on the back of it. People can look it up themselves, it was a YouTube clip. I was going to share it, but I didn't because of the language in it. But he's singing sitting down, okay? Singing, I guess, the best he can at his age and whatever. And the song is War Pigs. from Black Sabbath. Maybe people are familiar with it. The one that talks about witches at black masses. But anyway, he's singing while he's sitting down. And at the very beginning of the song, he says something like, "Put your GD hands together and clap," or "Clap your GD hands together." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's nice." And then he starts singing, right? And then at the end of the song, or somewhere in the song, he says, "God bless you all." And I'm just like, I'm scratching my head like, what? And then what came to my mind was speaking blessings and curses out of the same mouth. People speaking blessings and curses out of the same mouth. Right in the middle of the song. At first he starts, "Put your GD hands together," or "Clap your GD hands together," and then "God bless you all." And I'm just like, whatever, man. So anyway, that was the YouTube clip. But he just looks old and frail, and people are like, "Oh, he looks great. He doesn't ever look better and everything." And I'm like, well, why is he sitting down while he's singing? He's sitting down in his throne, for lack of a better term, completely black throne with the satanic imagery and stuff in the back of it. And I'm thinking to myself, this is weird, man. And then I don't subscribe to this person. I told at least one individual a while back, maybe a few others, it's like, listen, if you were like all on board for MAGA and now you're not, and I mentioned it before, and now you're just like, "Oh, well, forget everything from before, whatever, we're going to move past all that, and I'm going to preach this and teach the Bible, and I got nothing to do with you." Okay? I'm sorry. If you were like on the Trump train, basically bowing at the altar of Trump, and now you want to be a Bible teacher, I got nothing to do with you. Okay? And I've seen it multiple times. So I've unsubscribed from a lot of people. Don't listen to them anymore because I'm sorry. I don't buy it. And I would suggest people stick to this, stay in your wheelhouse kind of thing. Like if your wheelhouse is forecasting hurricanes, for instance, and you're really, really good at that, then stay in your wheelhouse and do that. Okay? Because when people go outside their purview or what have you, it doesn't work well. And then I'm seeing this one particular, Christian believer, whatever, basically promote Ozzy Osbourne. Basically, "R.I.P. Ozzy, we'll miss you, we love you, say hi to Jesus for us." And I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, you people. like, the dude just sold his DNA into liquid death for $450 a can. He goes on tour with Metallica and Guns N' Roses a few weeks later or whatever, and now he's dead, and he was double vaxxed, quadruple vaxxed, whatever vaxxed, and I'm just like, you don't get it? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? "Well, we hope that he repented before he died." Really? Come on, man. Uh, has anybody ever heard the leopard doesn't change his spots? Tiger doesn't change his stripes? It's like, "Oh, but everybody can repent before they die." I get it, but come on, man. I mean, I suppose anything is possible, but highly, highly, highly unlikely, because I would think that if people repent, if they get right with Jesus or whatever, just before they die, on their deathbed or whatever the case may be, only their family would know for sure, and of course the Lord Himself. But I would think that would be one of the things that the family would talk about, or that would be reported on, or somebody would know about. It's just like, yes, in his final breath, he said, "Lord, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm a sinner. Please accept me bring me into your heaven. Please, please, Jesus, I'm so sorry. Forgive me for all of my sins, Lord." You would think that somebody would say something like that. To be fair, it hasn't been that long. I suppose there could be an article or somebody would mention something like that. in the next couple of days or whatever. Maybe. I doubt it. But anything's possible, I suppose. I just, I just think to myself, man, what does it take? What is it gonna take? And I guess it always comes back down to the money. That it always comes back down to the money. That's what it takes. When the money's gone, when people can't spend money, they can't find money, they can't have money, their card doesn't work when they swipe it, whether it's a credit or debit or whatever. I guess that's what it takes. I guess that's what it takes. Because until then, it's just like people just won't get a clue. They just won't get a clue. It's like it doesn't matter how many times you tell them. It doesn't matter what you post. It doesn't matter how many videos you make. It doesn't matter how many times you warn people. It doesn't matter how many times you inform people. It doesn't matter. It's got to come down to the money. So I'm going to get to that now, okay? And I don't even have a title for this. I don't even know what I'm going to title this thing. I thought about something. I'm like, nah, I don't think that's going to work. So, but anyway, I'll just say, let's just talk, okay? But anyway, I'm thinking all the different articles that I put up on the post or whatever, time and time and time again, all these people, vax, double vax, triple vax, quadruple vax, promoting the vax, endorsing the vax, blah, 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 blah. All of them getting sick, all of them dying, all of them, they have to cancel their concerts, cancel their movie performances, cancel this, cancel that, change this, change that. And people still don't get it. Even Megyn Kelly, I didn't post this one, but even Megyn Kelly a while back said that she was attacked by Big Pharma because of her vax injury, And I was like, people don't get it. They're not going to get it. The cows could get it by now. They're not going to get it, okay? Going back to a City Slickers reference from years ago. The cows could have got it by now. But anyway, they're just not going to get it. I was like, okay. So let's just put that on the back in the back corner for now, okay? Let's talk about the money aspect of this whole thing. This is what intrigues me, okay? What if? Let's just say, what if? Because this is important. A lot of people don't know about it. You listen to me, you know about it. You listen to Greg Manarino, you know about it. You listen to maybe a few other people, you know about it. You pay attention to the executive orders or to the bills that are signed, you know about it. But the Genius Act, which I find very intriguing that they call it the Genius Act. Of course, it's an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for right now. But the Genius Act that just got passed into law, right? How arrogant can you possibly be? Okay. To call something the Genius Act. Like, we're a bunch of geniuses and you're a bunch of dummies, bow down at our altar, kind of thing. We're the smartest guys in the room. But that's what they call this thing, the Genius Act. Well, this is the stable coin that people may have heard about. Like I say, if you listen to me, you know a little bit about it. Gregory Manarino is kind of, I would call him basically the expert on this, at least right now. But the whole stable coin thing, okay, where Trump and his sons or whatever, they already started their own with USD1, okay? But this is what they want to push on everybody. Well, I found out more about this thing yesterday, but I listened to Manarino, actually. But I don't know when the rollout is going to be because I didn't subscribe. I'm not subscribed to everything to know all of this information, okay? But I imagine it's going to be pretty soon. I would think it's going to be pretty soon, okay? But because knowing this administration regime, they don't wait for nothing, man. They do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. They don't get permission from anybody. They just do whatever they want, They're spoiled, petulant children, and just very always on the defensive, and they don't wait for anything. Incredibly impatient. So I would imagine they want to implement this stuff. They want to roll it out fast. I would think. Okay, maybe not, but I would think if the pattern, if the pattern continues that has been shown over basically 2025 specifically. They don't wait. They're very, very impatient. and very impulsive with their actions, the decision making here. So anyway, with the whole stable coin, okay, very interesting to me that in order to get this coin, this digitalized token, basically IOU digitalized token, because it's not money, even though they're going to say it's money. It's just the way that business has to be conducted. You got to go through a lot of garbage, man. I mean, if people thought it was hard to get real ID, if they did that, hope not, but if they did, or passports or whatever else, and oh my gosh, man, you got to go through all kinds of stuff, all kinds of background checks. They want to know everything about you, everything. You know, it's totally monitoring and tracking. That I mean, complete monitoring and tracking. I mean, might even have to have a retinal scan. I don't know, man. I mean, check it out. Listen to Manarino. I shared his videos yesterday twice, I think. Listen to what he has to say. It's just like, are you kidding me, man? So just in order to live, just in order to be able to, how do I say it, function economically in the society eventually, whenever they roll this thing out, you know, people are going to have to go through all kinds of monitoring and tracking processes. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Where, it, so, and if they don't, they refuse to. If they say no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give in to the beast system or whatever. Well, then riddle me this. How are you going to be able to buy and sell? That sounds familiar, huh? Wow. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. So right now, as it stands, we have cash, credit cards, debit cards, whatever else, digital wallet. Everything seems to be, other than getting hit with a cyber attack or something like Microsoft did, you know, everything seems to be okay. As long as people can swipe their card at the gas station or the restaurant or the grocery store or whatever else, or people still accept cash, then we're okay, you know, currently. But whenever they roll this thing out, whenever it is, because it's law now, the Genius Act, signed into law. I mean, it's a done deal. Okay, it is, and it's worse than a CBDC ever could be. As I said, listen to Manarino. He's kind of the expert on this thing, you know. You know, ignore his caps or whatever. Like I've told people before, listen, don't watch, okay? If you watch, you're going to be like, hey, he's learning this or that. No. Just listen. Just listen. All right? If you watch, you're going to be pointing everything out. He was like, oh, that cap and this hat and that guitar's in the background and blah, blah, blah. You know, don't be distracted by that, okay? Just listen. And listen and learn, okay? And you'll understand what I'm talking about here, right? So with the stable coin, all right, whenever they implement this thing, I wonder if people that are unvaxxed will even be qualified. I don't know. But I wonder if they're going to slip that in there somewhere as a clause or something like that. Or maybe it's in the bill. I mean, who's going to read thousands of pages? I mean, these bills are ridiculous. Thousands of pages for a bill. Who knows what's in that? Nobody's going to sit there and read thousands of pages, and that's how they pass all this garbage. Nobody's going to read it. Nobody's going to read that. You know, we gotta pass it to see what's in it. You know, it's stupid, but that's how they do this stuff. I mean, thousands of pages, right? So who's going to read all of this stuff, right? Nobody. So who knows what's really in it? And what if your vax status is part of the whole stable coin? See, a couple people actually brought this to my attention. At first, I wasn't thinking about it like that. At first, I was thinking of more from a financial aspect and not bowing down to the beast system. But then what do you do if they no longer take cash? And, you know, your credit, your debit card don't work. Uh-oh. We were warned about this. The Bible warns us about it. You know, true prophets and watchmen warned us about this, you know, told us about this. What if it's that close now? And what if it does have something to do with your vax status? Well, doesn't that sound familiar? Can't buy or sell. And I am not saying that straight up. It's the mark. Okay? I gave my, on the other channel, I said the hard words, man. I put it all out there years and years and years ago. Depending upon how long people have been listening to me, uh, subscribed or whatever else, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Doing those walking talks, pointing the phone down at the sidewalk, walking around my neighborhood in Florida, saying the hard words, saying the stuff I didn't want to say, putting the stuff out there I didn't want to put out there. Literally argued with the Lord about it. Like, man, don't make me do this. I do not want to be the one to do this. I do not want to be the one to talk about this stuff. But I obey. I did what the Lord told me to do. They took my channel down. Medical misinformation. Repeatedly they said medical misinformation, misinformation. They finally took the whole channel down after multiple strikes and everything. They warned me over and over again. Last time I didn't get a warning. They just took the whole channel down. Too much medical misinformation. I'm like, well, no, actually, it's too much truth. Is what it is. You can't handle the truth. You know, I mean, it's too much truth. That's what it boiled down to. But they called it medical misinformation. But I said the hard words, man. I put the videos out. I put myself on the line. I put my neck on the line. I did everything I was supposed to do with this. I warned people. I told people. I informed people. Hey, we're going to find out, man. Maybe it's something else down the road, later on down the road. But if, big capital I, big capital F, if this stable coin, if this new digital tokenized IOU garbage, ridiculousness, if it's somehow connected to your vax status, and I don't know if it is or not, time will tell on that. Could be, maybe not, I don't know. But they still want to monitor and track you, and you still have to go through you have to give a lot of personal and private information. More than like if you were going to buy a house or a car, or, I don't know, maybe do a background check for a government security clearance or something. It sounds very, very invasive. More invasive than most people would probably like it to be. And just to be able to buy and sell, like I said, kind of sounds a little familiar to me. And if they do include a vax status in there, then maybe we're here. Maybe. Just saying. I don't know. Time will tell on this whole thing. But it amazes me how all of this is connected, and people think it's like no big deal. Yeah, I'll drink somebody's DNA. I'll inject somebody's DNA. I'll let my DNA be altered. I'll let them remove the God gene, whether I believe in God or not. Sounds interesting. Sounds weird. Sounds different. But yeah, sure. I'll let them do whatever they want to do. Yeah, sure. I'll just give up my body to science. I'll be a pin cushion, for the beast system, for Babylon. Why not? Unbelievable. I mean, speaking of Idiocracy, if people have ever seen the movie, I'm not recommending it. It's a vile, foul movie. Very funny, but vile and foul. Okay, unless you can watch it edited or whatever. But there is a particular scene in the movie where when the dude goes to the Idiocracy, the army soldier, the average Joe, basically, is put in the Idiocracy in the future. Okay, guess what? He's got to take a mark. They don't call it a mark. They call it, you have to be scannable. And he's unscannable. So if you're unscannable, it freaks everybody out. Because everybody's got this like barcode on their wrist, that they get tattooed on their wrist or whatever, which makes them scannable. So scannable for healthcare, scannable to be able to go places, go into movie theaters, to go into, grocery stores or whatever. And if someone's unscannable, it freaks everybody out because everybody's scannable. Everybody's bought into the Idiocracy system. So how is it that this guy has it? Well, because he just arrived into the future. But anyway, yeah. So eventually he has to be scannable, or else you can't participate in society. This movie was made in 2006 by Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, Office Space. People familiar with his work or whatever. You know, I I'm just saying, okay. So I just it blows my mind every day I wake up. It's just more and more mind blowing that of the craziness, the, the articles, the videos, the stuff that's put out there. It just blows my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more weirder, crazier, stranger, insane, it does. So, to close this thing out, you got Ozzy Osbourne. He's dead now. But before he died, he sold his DNA. $450 for in tin cans of liquid death that some fools drank somewhere along the line, whatever. Apparently they sold out fast. Okay. Then he goes on his tour, his magical mystery tour or whatever, with Guns N' Roses and Metallica. He does this little tour thing. He's so weak, he can't even get up. He's got to sing in his throne, in his bat throne or whatever. And then, and then he curses God's name, and then says God bless you with the same song, basically, at least the clip I saw. And now he's dead. Comes back home and he's dead. And people are supposedly, I don't know, people that claim to be knowledgeable about the Bible, Bible teachers or whatever, want to preach to us or teach us about certain things or whatever. They're honoring this man. It's out there, all right? I'm not going to throw people under the bus. I gave you a hint. Stick to hurricane forecasting. That's what you're good at, okay? That's the hint. If people want to know who I'm talking about, I'm not going to go there. But, oh my gosh, man. I can't believe it. It's just mind blowing that people just don't get it. I really don't think they ever will. So maybe that's what I'll call it. People just don't get it. Maybe that's what I'll call this. But I guess when the money's gone and everybody has to go to stablecoin in order to buy and sell, then they get it. I guess. I don't know. But in the meanwhile, hey, I agree with Gregory Manarino on this. I've said it, I don't know how many times. Had egg on my face, I don't know how many times. Looked like a fool, I don't know how many times. But honestly, at this point in time, I'll go with Greg on this for sure. I don't know Greg. He doesn't know me. I mean, he shares some of my stuff to his Substack. I thank him for that. I appreciate that. But I think it's wise to stock up. I think it's wise to get your non-perishable stuff, to whatever it is you need to get, whatever you can buy with cash or your debit card or whatever. I'm not telling people to go into credit card debt. That's not smart. It's not wise. You need to pay off your debt as much as you can, because who knows, there might be a debtor prison here pretty soon. But I would definitely stock up on whatever it is you need now. Because I believe it's as of August 1st, the other tariffs go into effect. Forgot to mention that before, but I believe it's as of August 1st. So that's just a few days away. The other tariffs begin to go into effect, where we're going to be the ones that pay for it, not the other countries, not the government, us, you, me, our children, grandchildren, whatever else. The average everyday American consumer will be the ones to pay for the tariffs. So I would stock up, just a suggestion, before August 1st or whatever they go into effect. I'm not saying they're going to go into effect right at August 1st, but it's sometime after August 1st, the other tariffs go into effect. So I don't know. Keep that stuff in mind. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Just wanted to throw that stuff out there. And, man, yeah, I got nothing else. I'm done. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed. Bye bye.